Okay. So then I will not leave this. I'll just take my spontaneous. So thank you all for coming. Let's give a big round of applause. My Krishna consciousness here right from childhood. He was my hero. We tried to get him many years. We almost went in 2019. We already booked a ticket because of COVID broke with that. I follow him. Many of us actually follow him. And then he's the same person, Pastor P.S. Whenever I see him like a Kumaras, Sanak Sanatan Kumar. Nowadays, he looks same. And then he's a Pune Temple President, illustrious devotee, amazing scholar, wonderful singer, wonderful human being, very strong, very austere, and very strict at the same time, very accommodative. I don't know how he does that, because we see devotees sing very nicely, but they cannot speak much. We have seen devotees speak very nice, but they cannot sing. Some devotees will sing and speak, but they don't practice much. But some practice very much, but they cannot preach. This devotee is so amazing, all-rounder. He does all of them consistently. At the same time, he's so simple and humble. So his youth order. He came to America, spending time as a youth, and then preaches the kids. He's going to talk about so many topics all over the years. So he gave us his tight schedule. Today we went to Cincinnati. I asked him, can you take break in between? And then Prabhu said, no, I want to be engaged. Never seen, I've seen past 2 days, not one moment wasting. So, having said that, this is coming from my heart, Prabhu. I'm not reading anything. So, I'm so happy that he's part of it. Hopefully, he will continue. Prabhu visiting. We have Prabhupada to come. So, let's give a big round of applause. He will come back again if you do more preaching, especially you preaching. He will come back more. Having said that,
So the address Namakiri yes, Bunayatra. Yes, Krishna Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Gana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Gana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Gana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Gana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashodanandana Brajaganarandana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana Brajaganarandana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana Brajaganarandana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana Hare Rama, Rama जय 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 गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय गोविंद जय गोपाल जय गोविंद जय गोपाल केशव माधव दीन दयाल केशव माधव दीन दयाल जय जय राधे जय जय श्याम जय जय श्री वृंदावन धाम हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय प्रभुपाद की जय नमावेक भक्त वृंद की जय ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्वन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे पाञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। रिपीट आफ्टर मी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय 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 ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare. I'm very happy to be here at the home of Yadu, Yadanandan Prabhu, Yadanath Chaitanya Prabhu, and Yadanath Chandra Prabhu and his good wife, Kalavati Mataji. The hall is completely full, but there are so many Vaishnavas today. And I offer my obeisances at the feet of Kamagiri Mataji. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj used to very much appreciate her. Especially he used to tell us that she has undergone great challenges and difficulties, difficult situations in life, and she sailed through them because of her staunch practice of Krishna consciousness and sincerity. So today morning I was hearing from Naveen Prabhu's good wife how you helped her very much in taking care of her second son, small boy. She was sharing that in the class. Very happy to hear that. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. Is a Purana which teaches the topmost aspect of life, which is love of God. You all know that. What difference between Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas is all the Puranas teach us how to make your life better in the material world. And Bhagavatam teaches us how to quit the material world and go back home, back to God. That's the main difference between Bhagavatam and other Puranas. For example, if somebody is inside a jail, if it is too cold, maybe you can give him a heater. Or if mosquitoes are biting, you can give him a mosquito net. If the food is not good enough, you can arrange for better food. But a person inside a jail cannot be happy because he is separated from his near and dear ones. He has no freedom to go out of that limited area. And he also has to break stones and take some punishment in the jail. And he has to live with other fellows who are not so gentlemanly, because otherwise they won't be inside there. Isn't it? He has to deal with those people also. So the jail was is not a very happy thing. So one time I was just jokingly asking in a class, which one you prefer to be handcuffed with? Iron handcuff, or a silver one, or a golden one? So an old man said, gold one is better. Then his wife was, old lady, wife was sitting next to him. She just hit him like this and said, why do you want anything at all? The handcuff you should say no chain at all. He was very intelligent. Huh? He said, so going to heaven is like a gold chain. Huh? Or going to hell is like iron chain. But within this material world, handcuff is a handcuff, isn't it? So even if a parrot can be kept in a golden cage, parrot will be more happy to fly in the free sky than to be kept in a cage. So Srimad Bhagavatam gives a clue already how to get out of this world and go back to Godhead. But some people say that, oh, that is not what I am looking for. Why do you so much talk about going back to Godhead? Why don't you tell us more about how to live here more happily, make our life better? 99.99% of even the religious people want that. I'm not talking about atheists. Atheists are actually misguided. They have no direction. They are in their own little world like a frog in the well. They are just ruining their current life and future life. Imam Prabhupada Krishna talks about it. But we are talking about even pious people. There is one verse in the 5th canto. The Devatas are praying. Sometimes when a person is floating in sense gratification, it is enjoyable, but afterwards one feels guilty also. So the Devatas are offering a prayer. They are saying, Na yatra vaikuntha tata sudhapaga, na sadavo bhagavatasthadashrayaha, na yatra yajnesha makha mahotsava, suresha loko pina vaisa sevyatam. They are saying that Where there is no yajna performed, sacrifices are not performed, Bhagavad Katha is not spoken, kirtans are not done, where utsavams are not celebrated for Lord Narayana. So we don't want to be in such a heavenly abode. No, rather we would like to return to earth, maybe in Columbus, where people are performing all this. So the demigods are praying like that, where devotees are gathering together to discuss the Lord's glories and celebrating festivals for Him, chanting His holy name, singing, dancing. We want to be in that place, either there. The second verse also, they are saying even more detail about that. Kim dushkarayat kratavisthapo vratayadhanadi virvadvijayena falguna nayatra narayana pada pankaja smriti pramushta atishayendriyotsava. They are saying smriti pramushta means when our smriti has become bhanga, which means our remembrance of the Lord Narayana has become forgotten. Why? Atishaya Indriya Utsava, they are saying. Because of sense gratificatory lifestyle. They are saying that when we are floating in enjoyment, we tend to become forgetful of the Lord in heaven. So, afraid of this position because if we die a death forgetting the Supreme Lord, what is going to be our destination? So, in order for us to remember the Supreme Lord, we want to go to earth and take birth in the family of devotees. And therefore, Prabhupada said many of the small children in ISKCON are very likely to be demigods from heaven who prayed like this, which I told you just now. And therefore, those children, even from very young age, they are very super enthusiastic, you see, in Krishna consciousness, because they have come with that desire. So, those demigods who are praying, offering this prayer, they actually want to attain love for God and go back to God. Nevertheless, I prepared this PPT when one of the book marathons, we wanted to introduce Bhagavatam to newcomers, totally new people. So then I thought it would be valuable for new people to see there are more than 50 subjects in Srimad Bhagavatam. And some of those subjects, how relevant are they to our daily life, will be very helpful. With that in mind, I prepared this. So all of you, I am sure who are here, you are all serious devotees. I would speak something from 10th canto, very beautiful pastime of Krishna and Vrindavan. I could have spoken that. At the same time, I felt this will be helpful for you when you approach new people. So, like for example, converting misfortune into good fortune. There are many lessons. Let us see one of them. You know the story of Uttanapad and his two wives. Long story cut short. The king Uttanapad was king of the world, and he had two queens. One was a Gunavati, another one was a Rupavati. Gunavati means she had good quality. She is called Suniti, Niti. Another one is called Suruchi. She was very beautiful. She was Rupavati. Generally in this world, if any boy at a marriageable age, the mother or father show him photos of few girls, choose one. Of course, once he has chosen, the other will be rejected after. Correct now? You can't keep changing. You have to choose one and reject one. Correct now? So generally, whom do they choose generally? Boys, what do you think? Will they choose a Gunavati or a Rupavati? Because in teenage or in the, between 10 to 13, that age group, the appearance becomes all important. But after we cross beyond 40, 50, appearance is not that important. Stability is more important in family. See, imagine if a boy is choosing a girl, but whole life he has to live with her. And imagine her speech and behavior and her traits and character are not very satisfactory. It's very painful. It's very difficult, correct? For him to live, because he has to live with her for a very long period of time. On the other hand, if Gunavati means a woman of, in the Shastra, such a Gunavati is called as a Sri Ratnam. Sri Ratnam means she is like a diamond woman. Who is a diamond? One who is clean, one who is chaste, one who is very hardworking, one who is very caring, and she brings happiness to everybody in the family. She is called as a Griha Lakshmi. Word used. So Suniti was like that. He was a Gunavati. But the king was attracted to whom? Suruchi, who was beautiful. And when a man becomes attracted to a woman, and the woman knows that this is his weakness, and then she can actually lord over him or dance on his head. She can control him. That is. But when a man is not attached to the so-called fleeting beauty of the body, and he is spiritually exalted, then a woman respects him like a guru, just like Kargamani was greatly respected by Devahuti. Correct? No? So you will see that. So therefore, it is supposed a person, a man is supposed to do his homework of becoming spiritually exalted, and so that he will be able to become a captain and guide the entire family towards back home, back to Godhead. So at that point of time, Uttanapada was attached to his beautiful wife. Here, as you see in the picture, he is taking one child on his lap, which is that the beauty queen's child. His name is Uttama, isn't it? He's taking him on his lap. So, are you able to see the head here? Dhruva is coming here. So Dhruva is coming, seeing that, oh, my brother is sitting on my father's lap. I also want to sit. So when he came, like the Suruchi is warning him, hey, you can't sit. Because you are not born in my womb. You are born to my co-wife. So you can't sit. If you want to sit, you have to die and be reborn from my womb. Then I will allow you to sit, like that she spoke. So in this way, when she mistreated the child, you can imagine what must have happened to Dhruva. He just became broken-hearted. His lips were quivering, eyes became bloodshot, whole body was trembling. He was a Kshatriya's son. So, of course, he went to his mother, as you see on the right top here. He cried to his mother and became angry also. So imagine if any of our dependent comes to us in that situation, what are we likely to speak? We have to think about. Like, we generally tend to criticize the other person. Like, for example, Suniti could have very heavily criticized Suruchi or criticized Uttanapada or thought ill of them. She didn't do that at all. Nor did she motivate her son to fight against, his stepmother. Like one time I remember when I was a small kid, I was watching one amazing sight. One kid went from his home to the next home. And in that home there was another kid who was having a packet full of crackjack biscuits. He was eating. So this child, they said, hey, please give me one. He said, no, I want you. So he snatched one. So when he snatched one, that fellow became angry. So he gave a slap. So this fellow gave a pinch. And of course the crackjack holding child, he started giving out a big cry. He started crying. His mother came and saw this fellow pinching. Oh, she was wild. How can this lady let her son come and pinch mine? My son, and she was doing Tandava, Bhadrakali Tandava. And that lady came out. She said, what did your son do to my son? Can't he give just one biscuit? Why is he so miserly? She also, they both were, it was going on for like 2 hours it was going on. Meanwhile, I observed that these 2 kids who were actually having a fight, they both were sitting and making paper boats and sending it to the puddle of water. They were sitting next to each other, putting hands on their shoulder. I said, I wanted to show this lady, hey, look at your kids. Learn from them. See, they could forgive and forget and go on with life. And you guys are fighting like this. I wanted to say, but I was afraid I would get beaten up. But I was also a kid, a little grown-up kid that time. I was just watching. Later on, I thought about that instance. It was a very funny instance, isn't it? People make a big hue and cry for small things in life. For trivial things, they make a big hue and cry, which Suniti did not do. Suniti was very mature. Because In this world, we are not born to just pick up quarrel with every person in this world. That's not the goal of life. In fact, we have to cleanse the mind of its existing impurities first of all. So she told the child, my dear child, you see, in life, you think about your progress. Don't think about hurting others. That's a very important lesson. In many of the companies, you will see, when the promotion comes, many people are fearful that my friend will get promoted. They go and do so much rumor mongering to the boss. They say something to the boss by which boss also becomes suspicious and he doesn't give promotion to a deserving candidate. On the other hand, undeserving candidate who gave a wrong news may be promoted sometimes. It happens. People are fond of, pulling others' legs and climbing over their heads on the corporate ladder. Such things happen. But you will see that she said, my dear child, if you want to progress in life, I will tell you what is to be done. But you do not try to harbor any malice towards your stepmother. It's a very important lesson. Na krodho, na tamatsaryo, na lobo, na shubhamatihi, bhavanti krita punyanam bhaktanam purushottame. This is a verse from the Vishnu Sahasranamam. It says, devotees of the Lord are not unnecessarily angry for any small thing. Na krodho, na tamatsaryo. Matsarata is defined by Sridhara Swami as para utkarsha asahanam, not able to tolerate others' progress. So devotees of the Lord are free from that malice. They are not envious of others' progress. So na krodho, na tamatsaryo, na lobho. They are not greedy. They never make unhealthy comparisons. Because if you find, for example, all of us here, there are people who are richer than us. There are people poorer than us. There are people more handsome than us. There are people more uglier than us. Then there are people who are more intelligent than us. There are people less intelligent than us. So we all are rigidly put in a particular body and situation. Did you decide the pigment of the color of your skin? Did you decide your face cut? Did you decide to choose your family in which you are born now? If everybody can decide the family where you are to be born, people will choose the billionaire's family. Isn't it? We are already put in a family. Your parents were given to you. Family is given to you. Your pigment of your color skin is given to you. Face cut is given to you. These are all awarded to you. So, you should know that if somebody is having something better than me, they have done the homework in the previous life, for which they are getting the reward. So, he is getting what he deserves and I am getting what I deserve. There is no reason to be, like for example, this January month now. The February 1st, you will earn a salary, but your salary will be different from your managing director's salary or the CEO's salary, because they are doing a different type of job. They are given much more fatter salary than us. So we are not going to fight with the company. Hey, you are giving so much, what about me? You are given for what you are doing. He is given for what he is doing. Similarly, our account of Punya Papa brings forth what we deserve. So she told the child that, you don't have to think ill of anybody in your mind. Na krodho, na tamatsaryo, na lobho, na ashubhamati. Ashubhamati is malice. Give up malice. Because keeping malice in our heart will hurt us more than hurting others. In our school days, once one of our moral science madam, she told us to bring tomatoes to school. And she told, you should bring that many tomatoes, as many people you hate. So some of them brought 5 tomatoes. Some brought 8 tomatoes. Somebody brought 12 tomatoes. Some of the fellows brought 15 tomatoes. So they all brought it in their backpack. And the next day wanted to give teacher in a packet. Teacher said, not yet, just keep it with you, I will take it. So one day passed, 2 days passed, 3 days passed. She said, every day you have to bring it. Whichever day I want to take, I will take it. So after 4-5 days, it started stinking. So and those who had more tomatoes, it was stinking much more. Imagine you had only 1 or 2 tomatoes, little stinking. But imagine 15 tomatoes, stinking like anything. After 1 week, some of us were screaming, Madam, please take it away. Either you take it away or allow us to throw it out. She said, not yet, not yet. Wait. So then in one of the classes, she told us, See, you all want to get rid of it. In the same manner, you have to get rid of your hatred. Because hatred is exactly like a stinking tomato. You suffer more than causing suffering to the other person. So, one of the famous examples in ISKCON, you must have heard people say, it's like taking a red hot coal and running behind somebody. Actually, your hand burns more than you harm the other person. So, that's what your mother told them. Give up your hatred for your stepmother, my child. Na Ashubhamati. Then what do the Vaishnavas do then? Bhavanti krita punyanam bhaktanam purushottame. You should spend day and night in performing spiritual activities for the Lord and awakening our love for Him. That is the actual goal of life. We have to clear our mind and awaken love for God. That's actually the goal of life. So for that, in that direction, we have to do a lot of spiritual activities. For example, Prabhupada says, when you rise early in the morning, bringing flowers for the Lord, bringing water to Abhishek for Him, and bathing Him, dressing Him, decorating Him, offering puja to Him and offering bhoga to Him, bowing down to Him, celebrating festivals for Him. There's so much to do for us. Distributing Prabhupada's books, preaching and bringing people to know the Lord's glories. There's so much to be done. So, divert your attention to doing something for the Lord. That will be purifying and elevating. And uplift your mind to that platform. Do not allow the mind to grope in darkness by thinking ill of others, having hatred for others, finding fault in others, or having hatred for others. One has to give up this. His mother taught the same thing. And then she said, I am not able to pacify you, my child. Even after I spoke all these things, still you are continuously weeping. Therefore, I suggest you that you go and see Lord Vishnu, who is the Lord of the whole universe. And when you see Him, He can give you the love of 1,000,000 mothers, she said. So then Dhruva asked her, and she also told Dhruva, He can give you whatever you want. See, your father Uttanapad and his father Swayambhu Manu and his father Brahma, all of them got their kingdom from whom? From Lord Vishnu. So if Lord Vishnu decides to give you a kingdom, He can give you. It's not that you have to sit on the lap of your father and get the throne. You don't have to aspire for this throne. He will give you some other throne. But He can satisfy you. I can't satisfy you, but He can satisfy you. See, just what an amazing mother she is. Actually, any mother who can give direction to the child like this, she has done the greatest service to the child. Therefore, this mother was also able to go back to Godhead. When Dhruva was about to board the plane, the last part of his life, you will see, he asked the Vishnudutas, Dear sirs, I went to forest on the instruction of my mother, and then I could see Lord Vishnu there, isn't it? So, I am going back to Vaikuntha. Can my mother also get that benefit? Can she also get a lift in the same plane? They said, Dhruva, you don't know. Ahead of your plane, there is one plane in which your mother is already sitting. She is going ahead of you and you are going to follow her behind. Dhruva became very happy. So, because she is the Shiksha Guru, she guided Dhruva in the right direction. So, in this way she told, and he asked, where can I find Lord Vishnu? She said, great saintly people find him in the forest. Go and meet them. So she guided him to the saintly person like Narada. You are seeing here. So when he went to Narada and he performed severe penances in the forest 6 months, you all know that Narada guided him expertly in all the details of the meditation. I don't want to get into the details of what all Narada taught him. But the point is, within 6 months, Dhruva saw the beautiful form of Lord Vishnu. I made one comparison. I found that Dhruva, when he saw Vishnu, his body was trembling. Earlier also, when Surichi told him, you can't sit in the lap of your father, that time also his body was trembling. And when he saw Vishnu, tears were flowing from his eyes, but these were cold tears. But at that time, when his stepmother shouted, it was hot tears. What is the difference? Why hot tears at that time and cold tears now? Hot tears came out of anger. And now cold tears came out of bashpa. Bashpa means like a premashiva, arising from love for God. At that time, when his stepmother spoke to him like this, his lips were quivering because he wanted to speak back. Lips were trembling. Many of you have experienced when you become angry, lips quiver. But now also when he saw Lord Vishnu, lips are quivering, but the purpose was different. Now he was quivering because he wanted to speak something, but he never went to Gurukula. He never even knew how to write A, I, E. Even that Aksharabhyas also was not over. How can he glorify the Lord? Then Lord kept his trunk on his head. And he kept, I don't have all the pictures here. I just for the sake of showing, I have shown you. So, when Lord Vishnu kept the so this is Suriti mother, shouting at him, and then he was going to his own mother, Suniti. Now see, he's going to forest now. We're all going to forest, meeting Narada. Then Narada gives him instruction. Okay? And he was fascinated by Narada's character and this guidance. He blessed him. Narada is giving him all the instructions, what all he has to do. And then now he is going and performing severe penance. So, if you hear his penances, it's very shocking. First, once in 3 days he was eating tasteless fruits the first month. Second month he was taking once in 6 days only some leaves. And third month he was taking only once in 9 days some water. Fourth month he was taking only once in 12 days some air. So it is just opposite to what in ISKCON we get prasadam. If you make such a program, nobody will come. Everybody will come. Fortunately, we don't have to do all that. Severe penance and all the demigods pray to Vishnu. Vishnu has come. Vishnu came and arrived. And you can see here, beautiful darshan of Vishnu he did. And here you will find him, here Lord Vishnu, touched his head gently with his conch. And Dhruva spoke amazing poetry at that time. He completely became washed off all contamination. So, this is the first lesson. What is the first lesson? He converted a misfortune into good fortune. What was the misfortune for him? He was condemned by his stepmother. She brought the worst out of Dhruva by chastising an innocent child. And then he thought everything is ended. Now she is saying, I have to die. I have to be reborn in her womb to be able to sit on the lap of the father. Such a tender child, how badly his psychology must have got affected, you can think of. But you will find in a Vaishnava's life, actually, there is no, even the worst situation can be transformed into the best situation. By the guidance of his mother, that's the most important thing. His mother was a devotee mother, she guided. Actually, if you go to the further part of the story, you will be amazed to hear that when Dhruva perfected his life, his father went to forest to bring him. At that time, in the palanquin, when Suniti was sitting, she also invited Surichi to come and sit. It's amazing, no? How amazing. She told Surichi that you are also my co-wife. You also can come, most welcome. So Prabhupada says, Suniti was a great mother of a great devotee. He says. She was also a great mother, not an ordinary mother. I was thinking if it was any other mother, she would have told, hey, Suruchi, you didn't allow my son to sit on the lap of his father, but now he has got Dhruvaloka now. Which is the pole star, where Lord Vishnu personally resides. It's a topmost planet which is better than Brahmaloka also. Now what do you say? Sometimes children do like this, you have seen that? To tease somebody. Now what do you say? Did she do that? She didn't do that. Because she didn't delight in sarcasm. She didn't delight in fault finding or criticizing her. That was not her delight. On the contrary, she was non-envious. She called, you also come and. So, one of the purpose Prabhupada writes, Suniti, by her good qualities, changed the bad behavior of Suruchi and Uttanapad. So Uttanapad was attached to Suruchi. But after Suniti's good behavior of guiding Dhruva and Dhruva seeing Lord Vishnu, he became detached. You will read that in the later purport. Uttanapad became detached and he decided to go to forest and practice Krishna consciousness later on. That means attached to Uttanapad became detached to Uttanapad. And Suruchi, who was very arrogant and atrocious, by the good behavior of Suniti, even her behavior changed. How do you know that? When Dhruva returned from forest, he offered obeisance to his mother and also to stepmother. And she picked up the child and embraced him just like her own child. And then, long live my child, like this she blessed. So Dhruva also gave up his envy. And she also gave up envy. Both of them completely forgot. They forgave and forgot. And that's all due to the behavior of whom? Suniti. That means one good character person in a family can bring happiness to everybody. Actually. If one can be free from malice, free from hatred, free from such attitude. Sometimes like one devotee was telling me, "Hey, Prabhuji, I am a good person, but please understand. He is like this, therefore I am like that." And he said, "Prabhuji, he doesn't know who I am, I am generally a very gentleman with everybody, But if somebody, I said, a Vaishnava cannot be like that. Okay, if he is bad, then you think about how you can influence him by your good. One should think, like Dharorapi Sakishtana means, you take a stone and hit a mango tree, and mango tree gives you 4 mangoes back. You give him a stone and he gives you mangoes back. And the tree, even while drying up, doesn't demand water. That is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And even if woodpecker goes and makes a hole in the tree gives shelter to that. So this is that's what Dharorapi Krishna is there. When Krishna in Vrindavan saw the trees, he called his friends. Hey Stoka Krishna, hey Amsho, Shridaman, Subalarjana. He's calling all the names. Hey Stoka Krishna, hey Amsho, Shridaman, Subalarjana, Pashyati Etan, Mahabhagan, Pararte Kanta Jivitan, Vata Varshatapa Himan, Sahanto, Parayantinaha. He's saying, look at these trees. Amazing, my dear friends. Sahanto means they're tolerating the chill winter and they're giving warmth to the people below. And in summer, they're tolerating the heat of the summer and giving cool shade to the people below. And the tree gives flower, it gives fruits, it gives tree bark, it gives gum, it gives honey, it also gives shelter to the birds, ants, and many creatures. Later on, when the tree dies, you can make a table like this afterwards. Even after that tree dies. Just see how wonderful this is. Seeing this tree, human beings should learn how to do pararte ekanta jivita, how to do some welfare work for the others in the world. Therefore, paropakar means not only we practice Krishna consciousness, we have to give it to others and save the suffering souls from enormous suffering. So, Krishna also quotes that. So, the tolerance of the tree also quotes it. So, in this way, Suniti's character is very high. Because of her good advice, Dhruva could convert the misfortune into. One time, as Krishna was saying, that you can, from the same person, you can bring best out of that person, or you can bring worst out of that person. Actually, when he told me this, whenever I go to consult him, 2-3 times a year, in those days I used to meet. Now, at least a couple of times I get to see him in a year. So when I go to report about my activities, he will also ask me about the senior devotees in my camp. So he was asking, how is he doing, how is that doing? So I said, that fellow has been quite normal and all right, but recently he's giving some trouble. I go. Then he told me, you see, you can bring the best out of people or you can bring worst out of people. If you twist the tail of a sleeping tiger, then the tiger will wake up. Similarly, if you, while dealing with people, you should not tamper with their false ego. Even if you have to correct them, you should circumvent that false ego and correct it. How to do that is not a very easy thing. Sometimes, especially smaller ones can be easily corrected. Bigger ones are difficult to correct. Because they have grown up big and there are many number of years they have spent. You cannot directly tell them off. Directly tell they get offended. So you have to find out the intelligent way of creating that awareness to them, what they need to do. So he was telling that, you brought the bad out of him because you tampered with his policy. So he said it has to be indirectly done, maturely done. What is maturity? Maturity actually means being sensitive to others while dealing with others and being satisfied with oneself. And also willingness to hear others' opinion and not just to push our opinion down the throat of others. So he used to teach me, when devotees grow in number of years, their personality changes. He used to tell me that the new ones, when they come, they just want, Prabhuji, I chanted 4 rounds with Hari Bol. That's what the new ones want. Prabhuji, from 2 rounds I have gone to 4 rounds. They just want an appreciation. Pat on the back, or you give some special Mahaprasad. They'll be happy with that. But the grown-up ones, you can't just satisfy them with a pat on the back. They want respect, not appreciation. They want freedom, greater freedom, not micromanagement. They want dignity to be given, and also you would say that they have to be actually treated like an equal friend, and they want to be given challenges, and you don't have to show them challenges, you make them do challenges. When they come, you have to clap hands. Not that I say that I have done great things and everybody has to clap hands for them. So he taught me these things, how to learn to clap hands for my subordinates, and they do wonderful things. So that was like a paradigm shift for me. When I was actually growing in Pune as a leader with a group of people who are also grown up. So then he said, if you give these things, that is their food for them. And then they will oblige to do nice things. So you will find that Suniti knew that she cannot deal with Suruchi. Is it possible for her to deal with Suruchi? In case she goes to, of course, Suniti is not going to fight. Even if she goes to clarify also, some people get wild even if you clarify also. Yeah. But I know one time in the train I was sitting, one lady was a little fat lady, very angry lady. And somehow or other she picked up quarrel with another lady on this side. Because when I was sitting in the berth and watching, I was wondering who is right, who is wrong. So this thin lady told something to that lady, and this lady was very angry. And her husband told her, leave it. You are sitting in the window, just see the beautiful scenery outside. Husband was a timid fellow, a soft fellow. The wife was not ridiculous. Later on, this lady was telling something to her husband. Something she said. Immediately she again became upset. Hey, you are telling about me only. So, actually, it's difficult to pacify such angry woman. Therefore, Suniti, did she go to Suruchi? But she changed Suruchi's behavior. How? Without even going to her. That means we have to show excellent qualities by which others' behavior can be changed. So, actually, there is one amazing story in Padma Purana. Only I am afraid if I go to Padma Purana, we may get lost there. You don't mind it? Okay. See, there was one very dangerous thief called as Gulika. This Gulika was a highway robber, and he would loot all the people passing in the forest. Thoroughly, he would loot them and beat them. Sometimes he would even kill them also. Very dangerous. So, on that side of the forest, people stopped going because the news spread it to everybody. Don't go that side, this Gulika lives there. Everybody knew his name, Gulika. So then Gulika thought, now I don't have any customers now. What will I do now? Where do I go? Then he decided to go to another place. So he walked and walked. He came to a province called Savira. So in the Savira province, the people are very wealthy. They had many business people, business shops and everything, broad roads, and beautiful palaces and everything. So one place, as he was walking in the road, he thought, this city appears to be very attractive, and I can do my business of looting very well. But let me find out, first the booty, where will I get first? So he saw a Vishnu temple, in front of which there was a beautiful pond with steps and everything. A big temple with a gopuram. He saw the gopuram. The top there were golden kalashas. So he thought, if I climb up the gopuram, I can get those kalashas, but I have to figure out a way how to climb up. He was thinking. And then he thought, maybe inside the temple something might be there, let me see. So it was about 11 o'clock or something like that. So he went in the daytime. And when he went to the temple entrance, he saw, because generally people go for darshan in the morning and evening. Daytime not many people are there. There was only one person called Uttanga Brahman. He was sitting in the hall in one of the pillars, touching the pillars, sitting there and studying the scriptures. This Uttanga Brahman was a great Vaishnava devotee. And he was a storehouse of austerity. And he was a very, very wise personality, learned person. And he was absorbed in Shastra, meditating on the Lord and praising the Lord. And the deity of Vishnu was standing there with the 4 hands and wearing a lot of jewelry in the body. In those days, they used to put a lot of gold, silver, diamond also. Having a beautiful mukut, kundal, and Kaustuba jewel and all that, and armlets and bracelets in the body. So the thief saw the deity, he was amazed. Wow, wonderful. There's so much gold there, so much silver. If I steal it, it will go for a decade for me. More than a decade I can spend. And I can store much more. And he thought the only enemy is this fellow who is sitting in the temple hall. Nobody else to watch me loot the deity. So he thought, let me finish this fellow and let me steal all the gold and silver and run away from him. So what he did, he had a very big, sharp knife. He took out the knife and ran in the temple hall and knocked down this Brahman. Brahman actually didn't even realize that this fellow can do such a thing. He didn't expect. Pushed him down and sat on his belly and took his knife to cut his neck. Like this. He took it down like that. And that time Uttaka Brahman said, please wait a minute. Before I die, I will tell you 2 shlokas. He's a Brahman now. He was reciting shlokas. Just hear a couple of shlokas and then you do whatever you want. He told. So he said, Sujano nayati vairam parahita buddhir vinasha kalepi edepi chandanat taru mukham surabayati kutarasya. He said, Sujano means Vaishnavas. Sujano nayati vairam. They have no enmity or envy for any living entity. Parahita buddhir vinasha kalepi. Even at the time of death, they will always think of the welfare of others. Like Parikshit was cursed to die in 7 days. By whom? By Shingi. But did he give any counter curse to Parikshit? No. He didn't give. No. So even at the time of death, they will not think of any bad wishes or ill wishes for anybody. Parahita buddhir vinasha kaleti. And then he gave an example. Chedepi chandanaturu. A sandalwood tree, if you take the axe and hit the sandalwood tree, it will render the tip of the axe fragrant. Exactly the point in which you are hitting, that hit point, it will make it Suraveti Mukham Kutarasya. Just like Hiranyakashipu is the one who is torturing Prahlad, and Prahlad prayed for Hiranyakashipu's liberation. Correct? That's very amazing. And Durvasa Muni is the one troubling Ambarish, and Ambarish is praying for him to be delivered from the Sudarshan Chakra. That's what he said. Chedepi Chandanaturu Mukham Surabeti Kutarasya. Jesus actually was having 2 people on either side, 2 thieves who were also put on the cross. One of them was a good soul. He told Jesus that, what will happen to me? I am a great sinner and everything is said. So he said that this evening you shall meet God. I said, tells him. And the other fellow was teasing and ridiculing. He said, hey, I am a thief, I am put on the cross, you are also put, just see, something like that he was ridiculing. So he said, oh Lord, please forgive him for he knows not what he is speaking. He said, actually this Vaishnava quality is typical, observable, whether it is Haridas Thakur or it is Prahlad or Ambarish, all these people you can see that. And then he told the second shloka, very interesting. Second shloka is there, Mrigamina Sajjananam Trinajala Santosha Vihita Vrittinam. He says, there are 3 people in this world, innocent people, pure people, but although they didn't do any harm to anybody, they still have some causeless enemies. He said. Mriga means what? Deer. Meen means fish. Sajjanana means Vaishnavas. And what is the food for a fish, for a mriga, for a deer? Trina. Trina means grass. Jala means for a fish, you just need some water in the forest. There are so many ponds in the forest. If a fish is living there, why should anybody trouble him? Or similarly, grasses are abundantly available everywhere, and the poor deer doesn't need anything more than that. Just eat little grass. Is he troubling anybody by eating some grass in the forest? And Sajjanana, They are, what is the nature of Vaishnava? It's a Santosha Vihita Vritti now. He just needs little khichdi and you put him in corner in one chatta, you give him, he will sleep there. Vaishnava, actually you will see big millionaires also when they become devotees. When they go to ISKCON temples, they don't expect much. They are ready to, they don't talk about their greatness at all. They come to, one time, this Mafatlalji, Rishikesh Mafatlalji. He has many businesses. Crores of rupees he is dealing with. One time he had come to Maharaj's room and some brahmacharis were there in the room. So he was telling Maharaj, Maharaj asked him, so you were telling that there is some problem in your business. How is everything? He said, Maharaj, it is 50-50. Very difficult to say what is going to happen. There is a recession and the whole thing may collapse or my whole thing may flourish. It's very difficult to say, he said. So therefore, Maharaj, I am not able to frequently come these days, but after a couple of months, things will be clearly known. And then before leaving, he said, Maharaj, in case everything collapses, just keep me in the temple, give me one corner of the temple. I can stay with brahmacharis, just take little khichdi prasad and do some service in the temple, like the Diva said. Of course, in 2 months his business boomed again. It went up very well. And of course, it's very wonderful devotee. But why am I telling you? Vaishnavas, like you see, Sudama Brahman has practically nothing at home. He is very peaceful. Santosha Vihita Vrittina. Because whatever I am due, Lord is giving. Lord wants to make me a billionaire, He will make me. Lord wants me to be a pauper, I will be pauper. But in either case, I will be chanting Hare Krishna. That is my this thing. In poverty and in affluence, I will not forget Krishna. That is the nature of a devotee. Because for a fish, you put fish in a bucket of water or you put him in the ocean, as long as contact with water is there, enough for him. He doesn't say lots are little, but he just needs contact with Krishna. So, Santosh Vihita Vritti, now 3 people I told you, but who are their enemies? For a deer, there is a hunter standing behind the tree, aiming with an arrow. He's trying to hit the mriga. Did the deer do any harm to him? But he's a costless enemy. Similarly, for a fish, a fisherman goes and puts a tackle and catches the fish. Did fish do any harm to him? But you find it. And similarly, you find that there are fault-finding critics who will unnecessarily blaspheme innocent Vaishnavas in this world. And then you find that. He said. So he said these verses. An amazing thing happened. When he spoke these 2 verses, Gulika, he was with the knife standing there, sitting in his body, he stood up. And his whole body started trembling. Tears were streaming from his eyes. Hair stood on end. And he got all the Ashtasatya Vikar by hearing these 2 verses from him. At that time, a Vaikuntha plane arrived at the door of the temple, and from that Vishnudutas got out of that. And then they came into the temple, 4 or 3 of them, 3, 4 of them. And then they told her, they came with flowers in their hands and they showered on Gulika. And they told her, oh Gulika, now you have become a pure devotee. In your previous life, you had done a lot of devotional activities, but because of your slipping down from your life, you had become conditioned and engaged in nefarious activities. And now, by being reminded of Vaishnava's qualities, again the old bhakti has got revived now. There is one verse in Bhagavatam says that, Navejano jatu katanchana vrajen mukunda sevyan javadanga samsrasim varan mukundangri upaguhanam punar ihadamiche narasagraho janaha. This verse says, Narada says this. Rasagraha jan means you have tasted devotional service to Krishna, some drops of bliss in your life. Then this drops of bliss will always pull you back to the devotees. You can never give up the devotees. So Gauranga was telling a story. One fellow from ISKCON was thinking that people have made me too serious in Krishna consciousness. I want a break now. He thought like that. But thinking like that, he left the temple without telling the president or anything like that. The first thing he wanted to do was to go on surfing. They went to the ocean and surfing. He went very deep. Suddenly a shark came. It went up with a big wide open mouth. If you would go right side, it will come like that. Go left side, go like that. Wherever he went, heart was standing in the front with a wide open mouth. And this fellow thought, now I am gone now. But I'm going to be swallowed by the shark. Alas, I was peacefully leading my life in the temple. Suddenly I am facing the shark. So then he tightly shut his eyes. He knew that whenever you are in danger, you have to chant Namaste Narsingaya. So he closed his eyes and just chanted Namaste Narsingaya. He opened his eyes, there was no more shark. He was saved. Immediately he served back to the bank of the ocean. He thought, this is like a second chance I got. I was saved. But still he thought, but I don't want to go back to temple. It's too much. So let me just, okay, I will not enjoy in the ocean, I will enjoy somewhere else. Then he went to the airport, and there some Matajis were distributing books. Yes, please, would you like to see this book? And they were asking. Again he saw that, the Latin Kantimana books. And he said, again, Hare Krishna devotee is here also. And he just looked at them, turned his face away and went inside the airport. And then he sat in the plane. The plane was about to take off. He heard a murmuring sound. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. He was wondering, who is that? He turned around, there was sannyasi sitting there. So, and the sannyasi thoroughly preached him. 4 hours he was in the flight. Then he took the next flight and came back to temple. So, why I was telling you this, Narasagraho Jana. If you are a Rasagraha Jan, the old droplets of bliss will not allow you to enjoy the material sense gratification. You will be guilty if you try to do something. See, you will see that there are fellows who are in Rajaguna, Tamaguna, they can enjoy sense gratification. But if you are a devotee, we will feel, we know it's wrong. Because now you are enlightened, switch is on, light is on now. You are not in darkness. When the light is switched on and your intelligence is awakened, then we can't do wrong. So, in this way, anyway, they told this Gulika that you are very blessed and fortunate to meet this Uttanga Brahman, by whose words you have become liberated. Now we have come to take you back to Vaikuntha. And Gulika also picked up the flowers and offered it to Uttanga Brahman and circumambulated him 3 times and offered him obeisances and said, "Oh great Brahman, you are my Guru. By your momentary association I got liberated from all my misgivings." And he cried loudly, how much atrocities I have done in my life. Despite all these things, Lord Vishnu and his messengers have washed away my sinful reactions and taking me back to Godhead, which I don't deserve. It is only because of your mercy, Nirupali Kripa, that I am getting this benefit. He repeatedly offered obeisance at his feet, and he boarded the plane. And after he boarded the plane, Vishnu Plus again came into the temple and told Uttanga Brahman, "Uttanga Brahman, world may wonder, how is it that Uttanga Brahman is still stuck here and Gulika is going back to Godhead?" They told him, "You deserve to go back to Godhead long ago. But we are not coming and taking you so that you can do this kind of good work more and more. Therefore, we have left you. At the time of your leaving the body, we will come to take you also back home." Oh, this is in Padma Purana, very beautiful passage. But he told you to tell you the nature of a Vaishnava. Correct, no? Mrigamina Satyananam, that verse says. So, in this way, Dhruva became a very noble soul, purified devotee. Got converted. So, in this way, his mother brought the best out of Dhruva. What is the best thing that can come out of us? Our spiritual master is trying to do the same thing in us. We have so many deficiencies and defects and problems. But somehow, by his good character and his good qualities and his sublime position, he is charming our hearts and trying to bring the best out of us, like he is trying to bring the angel out of us. But we are very aware that we oftentimes bring animal out of us. Isn't it? He is trying to bring an angel out. So, many Prabhupada disciples say that we never had so much confidence in ourselves, but Prabhupada had more confidence in us. They say like, Prabhupada brought the best out of us. Otherwise, if left to ourselves, we would have only brought the animal out of us. So, therefore, it is possible for you to convert misfortune into good fortune, bad fortune. So, there's another pastime of Vidura, who was one day very badly chastised by Duryodhana. Duryodhana wanted to get rid of this uncle Vidura who was having a soft corner for the Pandavas. He told her, look at this fellow, he is eating our salt, but he is always favoring our enemies, Pandavas. Throw him out of the palace, only with his life air, like that he said. So, you imagine, Vidura is actually an uncle of Duryodhana. How can my nephew speak like that with me? In a public assembly where everybody is watching, he could not take that insult. It is actually Karna Bana, it is there. It was like a sharp arrow piercing the chest of Vidura for a moment. But then Vidura thought, what can I do now at this time? I had two choices. I can demand justice from Dhritarashtra and ask him to punish his son, Duryodhana. Or I can leave this bad palace where these people are all politically minded people and I can go in search of Krishna. So he left the palace and went on a pilgrimage. He converted his misfortune into good fortune. So when he was in pilgrimage, you know what he did? He grew beard, he grew mustache, he grew hair. Nobody could recognize he was. But you know why he did that? Avadhuta Vesham, it is said. Why? Because he thought if somebody recognizes me as Vidura, they will come to talk about politics. They'll say, what happened to you? These fellows have done this to you. Please tell us the whole story. Who did what to you? He said, no, thank you. I don't want any sympathy from anybody except Krishna. He decided not to talk about the dirty politics of the palace. So he changed his external appearance. And he would go to the holy places. He would see beautiful gopurams of temples. He would see the chakra on the top. Or Vishnu's Chakri. So he would immediately offer obeisances after seeing the chakra. And then he would take a dip in the holy ponds and rivers. And then with wet clothes dripping, he would not even wipe the body. Because by the time he goes from one place to the next pond, before it dries up again, he will be taking one more day. Just like in Rameshwaram we do, isn't it? And go inside the temples, offer obeisances. And then he would be, offer obeisances and ask the pujari about the this thing, the Sthala Purana and all that. So in this way, Vidura's life became, he met two people, that Uddhava and Maitreya. And he perfected his life. So he converted misfortune into good fortune. You can see that. So in our lives also, when there are certain things, like one temple president came to know that the one brahmachari had gone in a van for distributing books. There was a terrible accident and he was admitted in the hospital with a lot of bandages all over his body. So this was almost like from 600 miles away from the temple. So the president thought, oh, this brahmachari will get totally discouraged. So I have to go and meet him and encourage him. So then he took a flight and he was thinking in his mind, what I can tell him. He may say that I was distributing books for Krishna. Why Krishna did this to me? He may ask. What answer can I give? He was thinking. But when he went to the hospital to see him, his leg was hanging from this thing. They had put a lot of bandage in the leg, hand, everywhere. And at that time he was reading a Prabhupada's book when he went. So when President went, this fellow was in smile, big smile. Yeah, he said, Prabhu, I'm very sorry to know that this happened to you. He said, why should you be sorry? He said, last 6 months I have been distributing Prabhupada's book. I never read Prabhupada's book. So Krishna has given me a very wonderful punishment. Now doctors are telling me 3 months I have to be in hospital. Now I am just going to lie like this and keep on reading. And he had no problem at all. So he converted misfortune into good fortune. Correct, no? He made it into good fortune. So it's, in this way, if we think in our life also, many situations that come our way, why? Sometimes we think that I don't have this, I don't have that. If you have that, you will be more trouble. Many things which you think you don't have. So, because many people who have a lot, they are terribly suffering because of possessing a lot. And sometimes we think if I am a billionaire, I'll be happy, but if you're a billionaire, there are dangers also. There are many dangers. You don't know how much the billionaires and film actors and actresses suffer, you don't know. There can be murders, there can be so many things. If you are a mediocre, then nobody will look at that. And that's very good. Only Krishna will look at that. So, therefore, we can always see life as a gift from Krishna for us. Opportunity for us to purify our heart and go back to God. I will not take any more lessons. I don't want to delay too much. You can take some questions, but then ask.
Thank you very much for the most beautiful Thank you very much for the most beautiful class.
Thank you.
My question is coming from a very mundane perspective. Unfortunately, the kind of work I do brings me to a lot of terminal patients and sick and chronic patients. And they don't seem to have the mercy that you are talking about. And it just seems from your talk that detachment is where the victory lies, external manifestation, maybe whatever. But from what I understand is that detachment is a blessing maybe. And these personalities and if I extrapolate their situation to my own heart as an aspiring so-called, so I come to the same place that as my patients are not ready, I may also not be ready. They don't get a notice, and I may not get a notice, or whatever be their misfortune. Sometimes it's chronic illnesses that requires 30 surgeries or whatever. I'm also not ready for any difficulties. So it almost feels like a farce of decades of so-called sadhana. Can you elaborate on that? And after that,
I understood the point. Yeah. You see, in one purport, Prabhupada writes, we should live in this world always in a renounced temperament. You know, what is a renounced temperament? Like now I have come to the home of Yadunanda Prabhu, is it? Yadunath Prabhu? Yadunath Chandra Prabhu. So now I know that my visit here is only a short visit, just for one evening visit. Then I can't renounce anything in this house, or I can become attached to anything in this house. Like when you go to anybody else's house, you know. Imagine if I say I renounce this TV. So that's what we don't possess only. What will you renounce? Similarly, we all have come into this world. What do we have got to renounce? We don't possess anything. Everything belongs to Krishna. So we can't renounce it. Nor should I become attached to anything, because I know that I am just coming for one evening only and going. So I can't become attached to any of the items here. So in the Bhagavatam purport, Prabhupada writes, we should live in this world in a what temperament? No. That means I should think that I belong to spiritual world. I have come here for some period of time to an alien place. And I will quit this place and go back. And this is not my permanent place. So this is one thing. Another thing, let us assume that a patient is a terminal patient. They have got cancer or they have got some unique disease. And doctor says that they may live only for 10 years or 5 years. Like I'll tell you one real life example. I tell you. There is one Mataji in Hyderabad. Her name is Barsana Rani Mataji. Her husband and they both are big doctors.
These were in Columbus.
Huh?
They were in Columbus.
Is it?
We know her.
Oh, amazing. That's a very relevant one, correct? Huh? So, I talked to them one of the days. They had come on Sunday, they were talking to me. Just 2 days later, they called me, they wanted to talk to me. They were saying that, and she was quite normal, walking like any of us, going, coming. And husband called me and said that, they have found something in the body and then some complication, they're going to try it. The doctor is saying that it is rapidly causing problem. And then finally they found it's a 4th stage cancer. And then I told him that, Prabhu, you should go to the best of the doctors, consult the Bhaktivedanta hospital. They consult that. Devotee doctors also. Finally, they found out her son is also a big doctor in America. So finally they found out that she will only live for a few days only. But you know how she took it? When as soon as this news was told to her, how she responded, we all got to see it. We were all present personally. So she said, oh, really? Why you people should cry for this? He said, I have read so many nice pastimes from Krishna book. Now I am very soon going to meet Krishna. Now the time has come, my body has run out of fuel now. I have to leave now and I'm going back to Krishna now. So how wonderful it will be to be in the spiritual world, seeing the Yamuna and seeing Krishna and the Gopas and Gopis and everything. And she said, very soon, in a few days I'm going to go. I'm very, very happy about it. And there's nothing to worry at all. That is the way she took it. This is the first response as soon as she came to know. How much renounced temperament in which she has lived her life became evident by that. And then all of us arranged for many devotees to go to her home, and she requested to read the Yajnik Brahmana's wife's pastime. There's a specific pastime she requested. So I arranged for devotees to read. Many devotees did kirtan. In the midst of almost 80 to 100 devotees doing kirtan, she left their presence. Her spiritual master also spoke to her. And I had to come to America on January 1st. So I told Mataji, actually I am not able to be here. I'm sorry, I have to go to America. She said, have a safe journey, Radheshyam, Prabhu. So do your wonderful preaching. My best wishes for you, she said. And I didn't want to tell her that in case you leave, I won't be there personally. I didn't want to tell her. But I arranged devotees to put her in touch with my Guru Maharaj, her spiritual master. Her spiritual master spoke to her also. So then, when she spoke to me just on the day of my leaving, she said, what more I want, Radheshyam Prabhu, the spiritual master spoke to me. He chanted with me, and he has blessed me. And all the Vaishnavas are here with me, and they are chanting the holy names. And I am hearing the pastimes of the Lord, and I am absolutely feeling confident. And I have no fear at all. Our body has to fall down either today or tomorrow. Everybody's body has to fall one day. What is that lament about it? We have to quit the situation. And at least I have got a notice. Parishit got a 7-day notice, and I also have got a few days notice, which is very wonderful, she said. I am preparing my mind now. And she was very peaceful in leaving, absolutely. This reminded me of the famous verse, Parishit says, no? Ammo payatam pratiyantu vipra ganga cha devi tamishe vichopasishtas kuhakastakshapova kashatpalam gayata vishnu gata. Similar thing, Parishit said. I am sitting in the bank of Ganges, surrounded by saintly people, hearing the Krishna Katha. What is that lament about my death? Everything is perfect for me. In this ambience, I am confident that, I will see Krishna eye to eye. So, I would say that when somebody gets terminal disease or something like that, they should know that, like when you get tonic bottle, it has expiry date. Correct, no? Similarly, Alpayush means people die before 30 years. In COVID we saw, some people died below 30 years. And Madhyavish means 30 to 60. Dirghavish means 60 to 90 people may leave the body. So everybody has to, and we have to give confidence to those patients that your body is nothing more than a dress. Today you are wearing one dress, tomorrow you are going to change another dress. It's as simple as that. Just like how many of you, when they do blood test or when they give injection, you are a little afraid before taking the injection. How many of you? Correct, no? Yeah. For me also, sometimes they will come for the blood test here. I am very afraid of that needle. I used to keep my hand like this, close my eyes and chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. I'll beat the teeth and chant. And that fellow was not, the pricking pain, I didn't explain. I asked him, hey, what happened? What can I do? Can I do? He was, hey, what are you saying, can I do? When I am chanting, you should do. Don't wait for me to open the eyes. He thought I am chanting for some time, and then when I talk to him, he will. I don't want to be conscious of this. I want to be conscious of Krishna. So, exactly it is a fact that when I am chanting Hare Krishna or when I am singing Hare Krishna when he is doing, it is just like one ant bite. That's all. You should tell the terminal patients that when you die, it is just like a bite of an ant, a little prick of a needle. And then you are free from the body, nasty body, made of all this flesh and bone and stool and bile and sputum, urine, all these dirty things. You're free, you'll be flying in the sky. And if you are a devotee, Tattva Deham, Punajanma Naiti, I mean, purpose is for devotees, this is the last body. Prabhupada says in one purport, if you simply chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regs, till your last breath, don't give it up, don't reduce, don't give up and go away. Those who stay with devotees, they will definitely go back to God. There is no doubt about that. Krishna says it. There is no doubt about it, he says. So you see how much hope giving it is that you are going back to Krishna. It is just like a prick of an ant or something like that. And Tadgirya Gayana Mahamrata Magna Chitta. You keep your Chitta Magna in Krishna. That is the secret. When you are absorbed in Krishna, there is no fear at all. You become oblivious to outside world. You know what is the meaning of oblivious? I'll tell you what is oblivious. Bhakti Marga is much different from Jnana and Yoga Marga. In Pune temple, there was one husband-wife couple. They used to come in a bike in the morning for Mangalarti. I used to appreciate that. How wonderful it is, you are coming on a bike. And husband would say, thank you, Prabhuji. But wife would say, Prabhuji, what is this which you are appreciating? But every day we come, I am in phobia, I have a big fear. What is the problem? She said, one dog is chasing her. Every day in the street, always it is chasing. And it is coming, running behind. My husband has no problem sitting in the front. I am sitting behind. It is biting my sari. And I am holding on. So every day, but they were also attached to attending Mangalarti. They liked it very much. And this went on for a while. Later on, they got a small baby also. Now they got the car. After a year or so, Maruti got something they got. Now I saw both of them very cheerful. I asked, now I think you have given up your fear. He said, why should I fear? Now the dog chasing us is an amusement for me. He said, why? Because I'm sitting inside the car. I have no fear. So when I heard this, it really hit me hard because in Jnana Marga, Yoga Marga, if you see, for them when they try to give up the world and renounce the world, it is like the anarthas chase after them like dogs, like the lady in the scooter. Anytime they can be bitten by that. Whereas when you become a devotee of the Lord, it's like sitting inside the car of full-blown Krishna consciousness. You are oblivious to the outside world. You don't, anarthas cannot touch a devotee who is fully absorbed in Krishna. Because Krishna gives the protective layer. So, even a dying person can confidently die like Parikshit died like that. He had no idea at all. So we have to, it's our duty as a devotee to know ourselves and also to preach the right thing to the people. I feel that it's all about the absorption, spiritual absorption. If you are material absorbed, it causes a lot of fear. People who identify with I am this body, this is my family, this is my material success, this is my career, and this and that. They become extremely fearful when they get some disease or when they get, because of the material absorption causes fear in this world. Spiritual absorption can completely, and imagine day in and day out you are reading Bhagavatam, you are chanting Hare Krishna, taking darshan of the deities, you are surrounded by devotees, we will completely be fearless. In fact, this Maharaj, what is his name? Sridhar Swami Maharaj. When he landed in Mayapur Dham, he was so happy. He said, now I can leave my body anytime because he had this hepatitis. So he had a big belly. So when doctor came, Maharaj was asking, doctor, who is inside, boy or girl? He was asking. And doctor was very morose. He was thinking how this Swami is joking, 1 week is going to die. And he called all the school children and gave them mala and made them chant. He told them, I'm going to die in 1 week. They can come at any time. Better you chant holy name. He's preaching to them like that. He's called as Jali Swami. Sridhar Swami. He left the body with great confidence. You must have seen the video of his known as BT Swami. How he left in full-blown Krishna consciousness. Our society has one. Similarly, when Mataji also left in Mayapur, her friend gave her a laptop. This Mata said that I don't know how to operate the laptop. Then she arranged for the laptop to, like the screen, big screen was put in front of her. She gave this thing in her hand. You just keep pressing the button, page by page it will move. And this Mataji read all Prabhupada books lying in the bed. She had cancer. And she became such super confident. There's a big newspaper article which said that this cancer afflicted lady who is dying now within a month, she is giving confidence to living people. So she was preaching lying in the bed. So many people came to meet her because she read all Prabhupada's books. She became completely fearless. This fearless aspect is repeatedly said in the Bhagavatam. The fearlessness can come only when we uplift our consciousness to spiritual platform. That is the only thing. Can we do 5 minutes case and we can do and conclude? You're all there? Yes. Anybody has one last question?
So, you were saying how about Suniti changed Dhruva and also Suruchi. But then we hear that Suniti got burned, Suruchi got burned in a forest fire. And Prabhupada writes because she had offended Dhruva before he became a devotee. So how does this all, because Dhruva was not having any offensive thing.
Even if a devotee of the Lord forgives, God doesn't forgive. Prabhupada says that. That's one thing. Another thing, like there is a 3 types of karma we have. Adrida, Drida, 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 like that 3 types of karma. So Adrida karmas are very superficial, they are easily changeable. Drida, Drida are karmas which can be changed with strenuous effort. And the Drida karmas are those which cannot be changed. They are almost, one has to go through that. And the reason I'll tell you why. There are certain tendencies in us which are very deep rooted. Like somebody is very arrogant. During the Sadhe they say, that 7.5. Everybody's life that comes in some section of life. And that time he will be subjected to shaking situations in life. He will get some terrible car accident, something like that. And in that he will become very humble, you will see. When they are put in a shaking situation. Because that type of shock is necessary for a very arrogant person. There are people who have been of one nature, they have become completely opposite nature after being shaken up by, or some near and dear one will be lost by that, this kind of thing. So that is coming in the Drida karma, which cannot be changed, which one has to go through like that. But the Adrida karma, I told you, which is like, for example, a boy, is going to a beer bar or permit room. He sees there's a Hare Krishna temple, music is going on. Instead of going here, he may go there and he can change his destiny. That kind of quick change or small change in direction that can actually uplift him. Similarly, Drida means, imagine like some boy did engineering and he got bored with engineering, he went back to arts college and did MA in English and he became an English teacher. Madras, one boy did that. So now somebody may say, how is it an engineer becomes an English teacher? It's a little unusual, but it is not impossible. That is it. So some karmas are like that. So in that case, like Dhruva's brother, Uttama dying, that must be in his account, karmic account. If you see the horoscope says that somebody will die in an accident or somebody will die with this disease. So you will get the account from Jyotish. If you check, you will see that. Now is it totally unchangeable? Actually, if Lord wants to change, what cannot be changed by him? He can change anything. But now there is nothing impossible for him. But they both had the destiny to live like that. Yeah. I know that what Prabhupada says, that he said what he said. Now we may think that Suruchi has changed. Actually, Suruchi has changed superficially. But there are certain things in our chitta, heart, which don't change very easily. Like for example, if somebody says, I forgive you, do you think they have really forgiven? There are people who forgive but not forget. Later on they will say, see, in 2002, in July month, afternoon, on that day, don't think I have forgotten. People remember. But I forgave you because of my magnanimity. So people forgive but not, or some people will forgive and forget, but they can't be friendly. When they forgive, they forgot also, but when they look at the person, they will find that they will say, I don't want to give and take anything with this person. On the other hand, you will find Prithu Maharaj and Indra. Prithu Maharaj forgave, he forgot, and he embraced Indra. Now let think for a moment, if you had a real tussle with some devotee, how can you embrace the devotee? It requires a very big heart. So, that core purification to happen, Lord may have a plan for it. Yes, Prabhu, your question.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful discourse.
Hare Krishna. So, I remember in the beginning of the discourse, you mentioned that a devotee should try to give Krishna consciousness to others. and then we just discussed about. Can I speak? Okay, that better?
Yeah.
So just now we discussed about this constant fear which we all devotees have the back of our mind, whether I'll be able to remember Krishna at the last moment.
You don't have to remember Krishna at the last moment because there is a third Charama Shloka in the Varaha Purana which says that day after day, month after month, year after year, you simply keep serving Krishna. And Lord says that, Nayami Paramam Gatim, I will take you back to God. Lord says that. You heard about this shloka?
Yeah.
You can put it in Google search also, third Charama Shloka, you will get it. Lord says that it's not that you have to remember me at the time of death. So what exactly the shloka says, while your body is hale and healthy, if you have used that body in my service, when your body falls apart, you are something like that. You are going to leave the body. At that time, I will come and take you back to body. Because I keep account of every bit of service you have done for me. So I am not a stereotyped God that unless you remember me, I cannot take you. I'm sorry you didn't remember. I am not that type of God. He's more understandable than any of us.
So then, in fact, just a follow-up question. So our meditation should not be so much that, what is going to happen. Maybe if we are already in the mood of giving Krishna consciousness or serving, as you said, then Krishna is going to take care of the rest.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्री राधा वृंदावन नटवर की श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की श्री गौर निताय की श्रीला प्रभुपाद की समावेत भक्त वृंद की पूर्ण मंगल हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
Radheshyam Prabhu ki. Let's give a big round of applause. Prabhu had a desire that he wants to spend some time. There are a couple of devotees came in the evening, but some devotees want to meet, but I don't know the Prabhu's schedule now. Huh?
How long will it take to go back?
From here it's 20 minutes drive.
Okay, 110 seconds.
So, Prabhu expressed two things. There's two devotees who want to meet individually. But Prabhu had a desire, he wants to meet those people and energetic who wants to preach. And there's some people who are already here. He wants to spend some time. So he's traveling